What's up guys, happy Sunday. It is boiling in here. I've had to put the blinds down and normally I record at night to avoid the hot sun. However, Bitcoin is reaching a critical level and I wanted to get this video out ASAP for you guys. So in between this video and the last couple of videos that I've done on this channel, we have had the FOMC meeting announcement. So now we know how that went. I wanted to give the market a little bit of time to settle and pick a direction, because what I find with these meetings is that there's usually a push one way right after the announcement, which sometimes leads to continuation depending on what the announcement is, or a rejection if the announcement is not what we expected. For me personally, I don't like to get caught up in mess like that. I would rather wait for the market to actually digest whatever comes out of those meetings and then take trades based on technical analysis. So a few days have gone by. There's no need to go into full detail about what happened on that meeting. I'll give you a few key dot points of what I took away. So the moral of the story is they decided to leave the interest rates unchanged. They made a statement that it will soon be appropriate to raise the target range for the federal funds rate, and that should be at sometime around March 16. Inflation is well above 2%. They will continue to taper asset purchases and will make one more around Feb, hoping to end those asset purchases in March. Job gains are solid. There's more job openings than there are unemployed people. And because of that, the most important statement to come out of the Q&A after the announcement was that there's quite a bit of room to raise interest rates without threatening the labor market. So what does any of that mean? It basically means that I personally think they do still want more of a market correction. However, they didn't want it to be as dramatic as what we've seen in the last 2 weeks. So they're basically saying we're going to do nothing but expect something in March. And I think the result of that in the markets is probably going to be further continuation down, however, not as dramatic as what we've seen. So what I want to do today is take a look at Bitcoin and how it reacted to that news, where we are now and what I think might happen next. And I also want to show you something that I found that I feel is really quite interesting whilst watching this short-term recovery. I'll also be announcing the final winner of the My Crypto Case competition, so make sure you stay with me right till the end for that one. So before we get into it, as always, my two favorite exchanges to trade and buy crypto on are linked in the description down below. For buying cryptocurrency cheap, and especially if you're in Australia, I recommend Binance, because you can deposit money really easily and fee free, and then swap that money for almost any crypto that you want. And for more trading options such as margin and futures, although I do not recommend that anyone uses leverage if they are new to the space, I still prefer OKX as my trading platform, as it does allow me many more ways to trade, and it also has some pretty competitive APYs on their earned products, which will save you time and money in moving cryptocurrency all around the internet trying to chase yields. So if you're looking for somewhere to trade and buy your crypto, make sure you check out those links down below. They do give you discounts on trading fees as well as helps to support this channel. Okay, so let's get into Bitcoin. Now this is the 4-hour chart, and as you may remember from my video 2 videos ago talking about Bitcoin, what I was expecting was a little bit of a run up before the meeting announcement, and then depending on what the announcement was, either continuation up if it was going to be great, or a sell off if it was not going to be so great. So as the announcement came out, we did have this little bit of a run up here, and then they had the Q&A section, and that pretty much brought us back down to where we were. And this arrow that you can see here was from that previous video where I cautioned that we may have a run up to this trend line and then potentially reject, looking at hopefully the 30k level to be the support for now. So what I want us to pay attention to now is, if you have a look on this 4-hour chart here, you can see that we have been trending up for the last few days. However, this area here at around 38,600 to 39,180 is a 4-hour supply zone. And you can see here and also here, we have already rejected twice as we've attempted that supply zone. The first time led to quite a bit of a sell-off, the second time a bit less. So what we need to wait for now is either we're going to push up a little bit further into that supply zone and then have our sell-off, or we're going to take the next attempt and actually break through it. Now, here's the thing. We've identified the supply zone. However, we don't know within that area where the sell orders are. So that's what I want to look at first to get an idea of, are the short orders coming in? Do we need to be careful? If you've been long, this could be a profit-taking zone, or are the bears happy to let us push through that zone? So first thing I want to do is I want to find out where is the most volume today. So I'm going to go to Ftx Volume Monitor, and can see here that out of all the exchanges, today's reported volume is mostly on Binance, secondly on OKX, third on FTX. So I want to look at those three exchanges and I want to see, are there short orders coming in on those exchanges around that supply zone level? So let's start with Binance and let's have a look at the heat map to see where are the highest short orders currently. Now, of course, this can be fake and manipulated, but for the moment, what sort of level are we looking for? And I can see here this yellow one here is the highest volume so far, and that's sitting at around 38,900. So let's have a look at OKX next. Looking at OKX, it doesn't seem to have any large amount of short orders that I can see that are looking like a bit of a concern right now. So I'm not too worried about the OKX exchange. Let's have a look at FTX. And FTX looks like this area here. It's not as much as Binance, but it's still there. So we're looking at around 38,400. So that's giving us a $500 range. Now we want to match that up to the supply zone. And so currently, as I'm filming this, these two white lines there are where most of the short orders currently are, which makes sense as we have wicked into those areas and rejected so far. This top one is the Binance orders, which has the largest volume. So I have a feeling the reason that we haven't actually rejected fully yet is because we haven't made it high enough up into that supply zone other than that first attempt. And you can see there, that first attempt, if we have a look at this exact candle here, that first attempt was quite strong and it did lead to this sell-off here. So what I'm waiting for now is to see if we do get back around that 38,900. So price actually goes into where those sell orders are. Will that lead to a harsher sell-off next? And if it does, then we're going to end up breaking this trend line that we've got going on the shorter time frame. And depending on how strong that is, we've got multiple levels to look at. So if we were to only sell off to this area around 35,740, that would create a higher low anyway, and it wouldn't be too much of a concern. The next area is then going to be back at around 34,000 where we've been before. And should the sell-off be really quite harsh, if it does come, then we're back around in the 30K zone again. Now, whilst this might sound bad, it's actually good for my little discovery that I'm going to tell you about next. But before we do that, let's have a look at what is the upside potential. So Bitcoin would need to gain some strength in order to get through the current supply zone. Looking at the recent candles, they don't look like they have much strength to me. And if I turn on the volume indicator, we still have declining volume. So whilst my bias is bearish right now, I always do like to have a bullish scenario so that I can remain emotion free. What it's going to take for me to believe that we're going to have a bullish breakout is going to be a break right through that supply zone. Coincidentally, if we do break through that supply zone, we're also going to break through this trend line, and then we would have to come back to retest the supply zone and flip that into support before further continuation up. And if that were to happen, which I'm highly doubtful, but if it was to happen, the next area that I would look at for taking profits is going to be around the 42,950. And if I zoom out a little bit, this trend line actually starts from the all-time high. So it's a very key trend line to break if we were to be bullish. And I personally don't think it's going to happen, but I would be very happy to be wrong, and I would be prepared to be wrong should we break out to the upside. But for now, anything that is underneath that trend line means I'm still bearish. So what I think is actually more realistic to happen right now is that we will take one more attempt somewhere into this supply zone, and hopefully that will be the attempt that leads to the sell-off for the final time with the three targets that I mentioned previously. Now, if that were to happen, all of this is good for my little discovery that I'm about to tell you. So before we do that, if you are enjoying this content so far, please don't forget to smash that like button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button as well and turn that bell on to all so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And also, if you're not already in our community Discord, make sure you check out the links down below to join that. Often I will post emergency updates of things that you should know about the market, including technical analysis, on-chain analytics, world news, leverage, all those sorts of things that could affect your trades. And I can get to them faster than I can on YouTube. So if you're wanting a heads up on all of those things for your trades, just join our Discord, it's free. So here's the opportunity that I see now. During this period of time here, where we've been waiting for price to come up to the trend line to see what's happening next, I have noticed a few coins actually start to recover really, really well. And they're the coins that I want to talk to you about today. All of these coins fit into one category, and that category is play to earn gains. Now, I have to admit, this one actually got me by surprise because previously, before this sell-off, when everything was just pumping in the market, a lot of these gaming tokens and things like that had blow-off top. We saw extreme gains on them and then really quite massive sell-offs. There was a part of me that thought that narrative is over. However, upon watching over the past couple of days and seeing how they've recovered from this drop faster almost than anything else, I'm convinced that the narrative isn't over. If we take a look at the play to earn category here, in the last 24 hours alone, we can see some of these coins have done some pretty big moves. We're looking at 13% on Sandbox, 10% on Axie Infinity, almost 10% on Gala. And then if we're looking at the 7-day period, it's even better. So why would this be? And why play to earn specifically? And I think it comes back to the old narrative that is actually now playing out, which actually makes me even more bullish on play to earn gains. And that is that when we were in a clear bull market and we saw Bitcoin, heading up to the 67,000, the narrative was that should we hit a bear market, play to earn gains will continue to stay bullish, and they are decoupled from the general crypto market because they have the advantage of people being able to earn an income by participating in the platform. What we didn't know back then was, would that actually happen? Because at that time, it was just a thought process that, well, it should be okay because if people are making money, why would they stop making money in a bear market, etc. However, now we've had a significant drop in the entire cryptocurrency market. So to see those things actually react faster than anything else now proves the point that it actually might be true that they could decouple. So this has really piqued my interest. Let's take a look at a couple of coins that I've been watching. Having a look at Sandbox here, it is currently up 58% from its lowest point just about a week ago. Mana is up 48%. Axie is up 16%. Gala is currently up 31%, but has wicked up to 50%. YGG is at around 47%. Engine 39%, and Alien Worlds 27%. So here's what I want to go through. I want to set a very quick scenario on what I think will happen if Bitcoin rejects, because it could bring those coins back down to create good entries for us, and also where I would enter if Bitcoin was to break its supply zone and the market continue up. So starting with Sandbox, we've got the supply zone at around $4.33. That's where we could possibly see a rejection. And so let's assume that price does continue up into that supply zone and we do get a rejection somewhere around there. Then I'm going to look at any of these fib levels to become the new support. Once that does, I'd be pretty happy to take an entry there. I'd be eyeing off anywhere between the 38 and 50 fib level. Do I think there's a chance that this is going to push through the supply zone and break out and we won't get a pullback at all? It's not, simply because of the RSI. So you can see here that the RSI is already in the overbought region. So I do expect a pullback at some point. Moving on to Mana. So Mana right now is in the 4-hour supply zone and it looks like it's eating right through it. It doesn't even care. The next level to worry about is going to be this level here where it was previously resistance a number of times. This is at 2.72. We could make it up there and reject off, flipping that into the, wait, did I say that was previous resistance? I meant previous support, now flipped into resistance. The other thing too, again, if we zoom out, this is a trend line back from the all-time high in November. So this is a key trend line to break as well. So breaking that 2.72 level there, not only will flip us into a new trend that is now bullish, but it will also break this trend line from way back in November. Again, we are heading up into the overbought region. So if we push up to this area here, then hopefully there will be a little bit of a rejection. Again, at the same time, these are all going to be fib level entries for me should we get a pullback to either a 38.50 or a 61.8 level. Looking at Axie. So Axie is a little bit slower, but having a look, we've got a really long downtrend here. And then when we look in this zone here, here, we are currently ranging. So we're ranging between $45 and say $55. If we break that $55 level, then that even could be a short-term long to the supply zone at around 63. See if we get rejection there. And then again, if we get a rejection that creates a higher low, that's your entry for a potential long. This still has room to go on the RSI as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do break out, come back for a retest somewhere, then take the next attempt, depending on whether or not Bitcoin sells off in that time or not. Looking at Gala, so Gala has two supply zones that it's got to get through, and it's currently creating somewhat of an ascending triangle. We really do only have one touch to that resistance area, so ideally we'll come up, touch it for a second time, create a higher low, third time, higher low, then break out. That's usually how I like to see ascending triangles play out, is 3 attempts at resistance, then the 4th attempt is usually a breakout. The other thing too, however, is that if it does push up to this resistance at the same time, that's probably going to lead to Bitcoin hitting its supply zone. And so it's really important to check if Bitcoin is rejecting there, then I wouldn't be taking any of these as breakout trades. I would be taking them all as fib retracement trades, should they retrace to a decent fib level. YGG is about to hit its supply zone as well. Now with YGG, it's quite a wide supply zone. And the reason for that is if you take a look at this candle right here, that was really quite a volatile candle. Look at those wicks either side. There was quite a battle that went on there. And currently we have just attempted with 1-2 wicks into that zone again. I would say that there's probably some pretty strong bears somewhere a little bit higher within that zone. We might get up further in, maybe into the body of this candle, and that's where we might see the rejection. Engine's got a little bit of a way to go before it hits its supply zone, and it's also getting close to not only the overbought region, but also it's at its RSI resistance right now. So there's a chance it could turn around sometime soon, probably before I even get this video up on the internet, or it may take that little last push up into the actual supply zone before coming down. Again, all of these are exactly the same. If they don't reject off that supply zone, it's a wait for them to push through it to the other side, then retest it and turn that supply zone area into now the new support, and then it's long from there. I just happen to have a bearish bias right now, but I am prepared for them to smash through these supply zones. The last one is TLM, and TLM is creating a better looking ascending triangle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and this is currently the 4th attempt. And see how this current candle is looking rather bullish and starting to build some strength compared to the rest. Usually you will get the breakthrough on the 4th attempt. But what I probably would wait for, if it did break this resistance soon, is I would wait for it, let it break it, let it come back to retest it. Then there could be an entry up to the supply zone, depending what Bitcoin is doing at the time. Once again, I really do think that Bitcoin is going to reject off its supply zone, so I'm certainly not interested in buying breakouts. We need to wait for that 38,900 level on Bitcoin to see what it does around there before we start longing any altcoins, in my opinion. However, if we do happen to reject off there and head down, if Bitcoin finds support at that 35,700, it's going to give us the fib level entries on all of those coins that I've mentioned earlier. So this is a bit of planning ahead, but it's better to be prepared than trying to find trades on the spot. So the conclusion is that overall, I do think that February is going to be a rather choppy market and probably a difficult trading range, simply because we didn't really get a clear answer from the Fed, and so we're kind of sitting on our hands until around mid-March. What that means for me personally and how I trade is that if I don't think we're going to be in a nicely trending market, I trade lower time frames. So I'll be looking at the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames and taking trades that I expect to play out within a few days at most. Because I don't think we're out of the woods yet, and I'm not particularly bullish right now, my only goal right now is to stack stable coins. So all of my trades are going to be with the intention of accumulating more stable coins, so that however long it takes, once the market does turn bullish again, and that could be months away, I've got a lot of stable coin reserve ready to buy when the time is right. I'm not particularly interested in spot trading right now and investing in any of the coins that I've mentioned today. I see them all as just trading opportunities. So don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. And before I let you go, it's time to draw the last winner of the My Crypto Case competition. Okay, here we go. I've got a picture over it so that you guys can't see the actual email address, but I can see it. And the winner's email starts with BSO. So if your email starts with BSO as the first three letters, make sure you look out for an email from me. My email address is in the description down below, so make sure you match it up and check that it is the right email before you reply giving your wallet address to strangers. Also, don't forget, do not email me first to check if it's you. Just watch out for an email from me, and don't forget to check your junk mail. All right, that is it from me. Once again, don't forget, if you are looking for a place to buy and trade your cryptocurrency, my two favorite exchanges are listed down below where you can get a discount on trading fees. So check out down below for the links to Binance and OKX. And also, if you have friends who are looking to get into cryptocurrency but have absolutely no idea how to even buy it, then please pass on the link down below, the first link in the description of this video, for my 7-day Zero to Cryptocurrency course, which teaches you all about how to buy, store, earn, and spend your crypto. It's a 7-day course with one 20-minute video a day, and by the end, they will be confident in buying and moving cryptocurrency around the internet. See you in the next video.